All right, week 12, bin 2. Let's dig in. Okay, condensation all throughout the top of the bin. No worms. That's good. All right. We definitely have got some of our buddies up here on the sides though, so let's knock them back in. Do a quick temperature check. One here on the side. 73 degrees. So that's good temps for these guys. Just like we were seeing in bin 1. Now, unlike bin 1, bins 2 and 3, you're going to see there wasn't this mixing of cardboard because the materials weren't nearly as wet. But now, since the lid has gone back on, worms are at the top here. Huh, that's unusual. Well, it's warmer up on the top. They don't have the bottom insulation like bin 1 has, so that would make sense that they're starting to come up to the top as opposed to being on the bottom, because you got to remember there's still water in these tubs as well. Was that it? What is that? Check that out. That's not a worm. That almost looks like a centipede or a millipede. I'm not sure which it is. It looks like one of the harmless millipedes that we have that crawl around here quite a bit, but doesn't look to be alive. We'll put him right there for right now. Is he alive? The worms will take care of him eventually once he starts to decay. He's definitely dead. Okay, yeah, we've got our friends all over the bin here as well, which is good. But they are more so here in the top layers of the materials, and that's definitely because of the cold. So even though it's maintaining mid-70 temperatures, in the middle of the night, like after midnight going into the morning hours, I guarantee you these bins are probably dropping. I would say, if I had to guess, they're probably going somewhere close to the mid-60s, which they can manage that for short periods of time, not extended periods of time. You know, I'm actually looking, and I think, I could be wrong, and I know my focus on my camera is horrible. I think I found a cocoon. A couple of them. One here on my middle finger is right there, and another one here on my first finger. I'm not sure. One looks new and the other one almost looks like it's a little bit older. This one's a little bit whiter and that one's a little bit browner. They almost look like seeds. Hope you guys can see that. I have not been looking for any cocoons at all in the previous weeks because I've been focused on so many other issues, but you know what? This also has a lot of smaller sized worms in it, which means that they are really starting to reproduce. Well, that's great. But I'm seeing all these little seed size bulbs in here. They look very similar to what you would expect of a cocoon. I wish I could get my camera to focus and zoom a lot better than it does. You can see them yourselves. I'm kind of pointing out the areas right now. But as you can see the worms, they're very inactive. So it's this is due to the colder weather, obviously. So we'll take a quick look here. This is where we put our crushed up eggshell and compost last time. This is where we had the feeding zone, and yeah, you see, okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, there's still a lot of food here, but there's also a fair amount of smaller worms. It's almost like they're treating the food area as a nursery for the new babies. Has a little bit of a smell, only a little bit, but oh yeah, there's a lot of babies in here, you guys. A lot of smaller babies and a lot of cocoons, or things that look like cocoons. but the food is not being consumed nearly as quickly as it was just even a month ago. And so it does have a slight smell. So this is where our fruit flies are coming from. But you know what, that's okay. We'll turn this over now. Just leave it like this, that's fine. Castings look great. It's not nearly as dry as I would like it, but it's not, yeah, it's about the same texture as it was before, kind of like wet sand that crumbles apart really easily. Let's dig around a little more. Make sure stuff doesn't go anaerobic. Oh yeah, good healthy population, really good healthy population, but a little more moist here on the corners and on the edges than it was last week. I don't regret the decision to put the lid back on and not harvest at this point in time. What's important here is the health of the worms and their population. We want to keep them healthy. We want to keep them happy. We want to keep them in the bin. If they were to try to escape the bins right now into the water, as cold as I'm sure that water's getting, it just would, yeah, it wouldn't be a good thing. So let's just kind of dig around a little bit. Yeah, look at the population, you guys. I don't know if you can see that or not, but wow, nice. Bin 2's population looks really good. We got healthy adults. We got a bunch of new babies. The worms are definitely getting smaller in size. So I think this definitely confirms some of the things that AV and Noel Davis at World Composting have been trying to test out, and that's the separating of the adults from the babies, so that the babies can grow and the adults don't shrink. I'm also seeing a lot of them. It's got a really nice and good healthy population. I just want to mix it up here just to make sure it doesn't go anaerobic on the bottom, because it obviously is very wet. And this is not probably the best thing for the worms, but we'll also tuck some of the food down below, because a lot of that powderized eggshell and compost that was mixed together is still kind of intact. So just going to spread things around and kind of even it out a little bit, level it out, and then we'll let them kind of get back to just doing their thing. Oh, there we go. There's some, yeah, well, we know the food is not really getting processed the way it normally would in the hotter season. So just leveling out, just giving it a light tamp with my hand, not really pressing down on it, but just kind of making sure I keep things a little level. Gonna keep the lids back on them. Try to make sure that we keep things warm. They're gonna be damper, but it will keep the bins warmer through this cold season, which is what I definitely need to do. All right. Okay, there's still plenty of food in this bin. Don't worry about that. These guys have got more than enough food, and population looks great. Very happy with their progress. They'll be fine in here until we get into warmer weather. I may eventually, and I might think about this next week, see if I can't collect up maybe some new brown leaves and put just a nice dry cover on top of the bins, and still leave the lids on. Again, just kind of I'm thinking about insulation as opposed to putting another piece of cardboard on the bottom. I may still do that as well. We'll just have to see. But listen, everything looks good. That's the check-in here for bin 2. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please do like and share the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and hit the bell notification icon so that you can be alerted when I upload new content. Hey, listen, wherever you are in this world today or tonight, you take care. Bye for now.